Hey guys, Philip Good here. I am a relationship and unconditional love coach, and I'm also an abuse recovery specialist. The title of this video is a little bit different to what I've been sharing with you guys of late. This title, this one is called The End of Corporations and the Rise of Cooperatives. As we know, countries are corporations. The people, us, 99.95% of us, have all the power. Yet we allow governments to dictate to us because, yes, whether they're supposedly democratic or communist, they're all dictators. They're dictating to us because we're controlled and we lack freedom. Why don't we change? That's one of my concerns, big concerns. At 72 years of age, I have children. I have 12 grandchildren. And it worries me the way the world is, the way the structures are, the way the government dictates to the people, not doing things to benefit its citizens, but quite the opposite, to benefit themselves and the corporations who provide the finance to vote them back into power. So what's the difference between a corporation and a cooperative? A corporation, like a company, has its shareholders at the top and basically the slaves at the bottom, a triangle style concept. A cooperative, on the other hand, is a circle of life, the circle of love. And guess what? Earth is also round. And so that means cooperatives means equality for its members, equal benefits. On the other hand, governments, corporations, all its citizens, we're the assets of that corporation, that country, right? Because based on the average income of the citizens in that country, being the assets and their income potential, they can use those assets and that potential income as collateral, as assets to borrow against. But isn't it amazing when you look at the interest rates we're going through in Australia? We're going through interest rate hikes, inflation supposedly. Isn't it incredible that when governments print money and cause inflation, so they cause the inflation by printing extra money into the pool. Then they turn around to raise interest rates to curb the inflation that they created. Is that doing things to benefit us for our good, or is it putting us in more stress and pain? Putting the citizens in more stress and pain, right? Governments are doing it to keep the thumbs pressed down on us, keep the screws on us, right? When you think about it, when you're born, when we're all born, our parents give us a name, right? But it's not our really name. It's not our name, according to our government. The only name we have, according to the government, is the tax file number we're given. And that is an invisible tattoo across our forehead. It should be a real tattoo, because to our government, that's our name. We're a number, and we're an asset to borrow against, beginning and the end of the story. Think about cooperatives, for example. If it means that all members have equality, we all have equal benefits, we're all treated the same, we have a share in what we invested into. For example, imagine a cooperative bank, for instance. The bank, a cooperative bank where you go to borrow money to buy a house, for example, or every property or whatever. You own part of that bank. Take a food cooperative, for example. You see in the media that producers are screaming because they're not being paid enough for their produce. Consumers scream because they're paying too much for that produce. And the ones in between, the corporations that control what consumers have to pay for the food and what producers get for growing it, they're the ones that are making all the money, all the profit, right? So imagine if there were food cooperatives set up. We bypass the middleman. What does that actually mean? Consumers pay less for their food. Producers get paid more for their food. And so they should. Consumers, we should be paying less for our food, while helping our producers, our growers, to make more and to stay in business, to have a comfortable business for the work and effort they put into it, and cut out the middleman. There needs to be strategies put into place to help this to happen. Banking, finance, and food, big areas. We're only 6 years away now from the start of the golden age of Aquarius in 2032. It is claimed that heading towards that date and beyond, the corporations will absolutely start to weaken. And people, the populations of the world that have all the power, the 99.5% of all the power, they have all the say-so. They can elect. When you start to create cooperatives and give that your time and attention and investment for your own good, for everyone's good, then, and you don't do business with corporations, guess what? If you don't do business with them, what happens? They start to weaken, go down the tube, right? And that's what's needed. Rather than monopolies, we want a fairer system where everyone benefits. In Golden Atlantis, well, the other thing I wanted to say too, so the monetary system is all about control, isn't it? Keeping us down, the haves and the have-nots. Imagine if there was no monetary system. How crime would just disappear, right? Food is free, as it will be in the golden age of Aquarius, grown in tunnels from the likes of crystal technology and power. Schools, as they are now, won't be anything like they are now. Hospitals won't be needed. There's all sorts of these new technologies coming in that we don't know about yet. Think about in Golden Atlantis, for example. Just give you an example. In the golden age of Aquarius will be very similar. In Golden Atlantis, they had no monetary system, right? There were the 12 tribes of Atlantis. And I always remember one of those tribes. The Maoris were my ancestors. They were there, as were the Aboriginals, the Native Americans, and the Hawaiians, and the Polynesians, and that as well. So there's no monetary system. So we lived in tribes. Tribe is another word for cooperative, right? A tribe is a cooperative community of people destined to help one another. Give you an example. The Native Americans, when they went out on a buffalo hunt, for example, the men went out there, shoot a buffalo, bring it back. If you are one of the unlucky braves in that tribe and you didn't actually shoot or kill a buffalo, it's not like everyone else that did shoot one or kill one said, "Oh, this is mine. That's mine. I'm not going to share with you." No, that's not what happened, because that's not cooperation, isn't it? That's not working together. So if you miss out one time, next time somebody else might miss out. But we share what we have, right? We share We share, we care, we understand, we accept. We have empathy, we have compassion for one another. We realize that we're all one, we're all connected, right? And the tribal system, the cooperative system, highlights just that. It's the ideal community concept. But like I just said, in Golden Lances, though, give you an example of a cooperative or tribal system working together. If, for example, a young couple got married, they didn't have to, like we do now, we got to get quotes and work out how much it's going to cost. What can we afford it? Got to get plans. We've got to arrange a builder. No, in that situation, the whole tribe got together to help the young couple build their home. It was built so much quicker, and it was all done together. It was all shared, sharing and caring. That's what it's all about. See, the thing is, if collectively people in different countries around the world and the whole world population as a whole, we don't come together and make a stand, then nothing's going to happen. And around the world, you see two-party systems everywhere. We think we vote one party in and the other one out, and the next election we change it around. Guess what? They're both tarred with the same brush. They both represent the same establishment, right? And typically and historically, for a long, long time now, governments have been dictated to by the cabal, right? But that is weakening. That concept is weakening. The corporations are weakening, and the truth is starting to come out that the governments of the day are not doing things for the benefit of its people. They're putting the screws down and keeping people under pressure, keeping people under unnecessary stress. As a family, as a community, because all the media is all about dictating to, telling us about all the rich 1% or the 0.5% of the people in the population. That's what they focus on. So people have starry eyes. Comes over the news. Oh, there's this $25 or $40 million mansion that was sold down in central Melbourne or another part of the world. That's what they highlight. Not they don't talk about the average person, because in these times at the moment, it's hard going for lower middle income people, particularly young families. And for those people trying to get a deposit for a property that's going up in price, and by the time you save up a certain amount of money, the price has gone up so much that you got to have you got to keep on saving to get to your 20% deposit. That's not right. The way property prices have gone over the last 10, 15, 20 years is absolutely insane. It's ridiculous. And like I just mentioned about the inflation interest debacle, how the government's caused the inflation by printing extra money into the economy, cause the inflation, and then raise interest rates to curb the inflation they created. Is that fair? No, that's criminal, in my view. That is absolutely criminal. These people need to be in jail. It's far from being a fair and equitable system. And it needs to be changed. See, I'm an unconditional love coach. Part of unconditional love is standing up for what's right, having the courage and conviction to stand up for what's right, not only for yourselves, but for other people, for your children, your grandchildren, and the new generations coming through. It saddens me that the world has become like this. But it takes courage to stand together to make these changes. But if you don't do it and I don't do it and it doesn't happen, then what changes? Nothing. Do our lives get better? Go happier, less stress, less anxiety? No, it doesn't change. Nothing changes. Nothing changes until we come to a point and say, enough's enough. I've had a guts full of this. We've got to change. And the time is now, right? I have an idea to set up a cooperative, sort of like a cooperative platform. And it's dear to my heart because not only going to help, it won't, I mean, I'm at the end of my life, right? But I can see what's going on out there. People are dumbed down by, things like gaming, by social media, by game shows that we see on and on. It's to get us, it's like almost like, isn't it funny, the Monday to Friday concept? By Monday, our batteries are recharged, right? We've been to a sporting function. We've been to watch this game or that game. We've been to a rock concert. And by Friday, our batteries are flat, pretty much flat. Friday, Saturday afternoon, we're flat, we're done. And that's the system. Recharging your time off, your day and a half off, your 2 days if you're lucky, and back into again on Monday. And the cycle just continues Monday to Friday. What changes? Nothing. The governments of the day will never change things to benefit its citizens. The citizens have to rise up and make the changes that will benefit them and others and each other. That's what we've got to do. Our lives depend on it. Our children's lives depend on it. Our grandchildren's lives depend on it. And also all the subsequent generations. We've got to stand up and start to say, no, enough's enough. Interesting, Native American Indian chief, Red Cloud, said he made a comment on land and how land was being sold off, parceled off, sold off in little blocks and this thing called money. And he said, how can anyone own the land that we walk upon? When you stop and think about it, Earth is the only place in all the universes where we have to pay to live and pay to be born. But when you think about it, did God or the creator, the source, did he charge us $100,000, for instance, for the privilege of being incarnated, being born on Earth? No, it was all free. Think about the native tribes of Native Americans, the Maoris in New Zealand, the Aboriginals in Australia here, and all the native tribes around the world. Not only did they not have to pay to be born or to pay for the privilege of living on Earth, but they never had any monetary system. They lived in a subsistence way of life. And a happy life at that. Sure, they had squabbles and infighting and so on. But apart from that, the everyday life, they had true freedom. But unlike today, you can't have true freedom with controls. You can't have freedom of expression with a limitation. And there's so many controls, limitations, and regulations out there, isn't there? If you think you're free, you're delusional. We're not free. There's nothing free about this world. But it could be. It can be. And hopefully it will be. If we stand up and say enough's enough. And the time for change is right now. I hope you agree. I'm going to get in and take some action, and because people can talk about it till they're blue in the face, but action speaks louder than words, and action takes courage, it takes guts, and that's what's needed right now. I'll leave it with you guys. Thank you. Hope you got something out of this, and the secret is coming together, cooperating. And if we can set up cooperatives, it'll change the world in a heartbeat. It'll take time, sure, but it's working towards those things because of all the benefits, the equal benefits involved, and the equality. We want equality for everyone. Okay, guys, bye for now. Love you guys. Bye. Oh, by the way, before I go, if you want to download an ebook or get in touch with me, please go to philipgood.com. That's PHILIP, good, GOOD.com. And yeah, that's something else for you guys. Okay, bye for now. Love you guys. Bye now.